So nice to meet you guys.
Very nice meeting you.
So let's talk about the premise of the show. This is, this season, one of the episodes, Terrence asks, Megan, what, like rhetorically, of course, but what kind of person accepts a contract marriage? So can you answer that question? What kind of person accepts a contract marriage?
I think the real question is, is this how, I think the show does a really good job at normalizing a contract marriage. While it might not be normal to you or I, there's a lot of people in Megan's circle that's telling her that this is okay, this is the way that this could be done, and it's been done before. I think that's the whole thing with this show. So it's not necessarily like anything that she's doing that she's sacrificing her own integrity or her own creative integrity. Like everyone's telling her that this is okay, this is the way to do it, and it might feel a little strange, but it's normal. And I think that's what this is really doing, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Kind of normalizes it.
Yeah. Because many, religions and cultures do arranged marriages, so you would say that that's basically the same, except on a more intense level?
More intense, highly publicized level. Yeah, contract marriages have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
So this is just another extension of that.
Right.
There's just a lot more people involved within it.
Right. So I know what you get out of it. What does Kyle get out of it?
I think that, Kyle just wants to be in love. He just wants to have a real relationship. He really does. And, they met in such an interesting situation. It was at an audition. He had never met Megan before.
Right.
He could pretty much love at first sight, and he was like, I'm going to make this happen. This needs to happen. I love her. And his team was like, well, we don't know who she is. She's a wild card. We have to put some sort of thing in place so she can't just ruin your career just in case, she's a crazy person, which she's not. So Kyle's like, fine, do whatever. I hope that she's going to agree to this because I really think that we are supposed to be together. And so Kyle just wants Megan at the end of the day, and he knows it's going to be a rough road, and he's had a lot of problems in the past with relationships. So.
Yeah, I think Kyle's motives are very clear with the contract, but it's stability for Kyle, the contract, and I think his intentions are very pure with it, but I think it's the people in his camp that are using the contract in a more manipulative way for Megan.
Right. So Terrence and Kyle have this very interesting relationship. They kind of take the whole idea of enmeshment to this whole different level. Is it fair to characterize a relationship as kind of like that awful, terrible mother-in-law who's way too involved with her son and who's like, no girl is good enough for him and will do anything to sabotage the relationship?
You find out in season 2 why they're so connected. A little bit about Kyle's past, the dark side of his past, that what brought him to the Institute in the first place.
Right.
But I think that Terrence has a lot at stake with Kyle. Kyle has really kind of helped this institute grow, helped it be legitimate. And if something happens, let's say, Megan comes in and kind of completely takes, right now Kyle, everything Kyle needs to I guess, confide in, he's gone to Terrence. Now he goes, I think he's worried about him going to Megan and him losing control of who is the face of his whole organization.
So basically a controlling mother-in-law, right?
Yeah, Terrence has
I wouldn't know. I don't have a mother-in-law yet.
But Terrence has all of his cards invested in Kyle, and when Megan comes along, he knows her MO. He knows. I think he's very intimidated by her, and I think that fear of her is what's leading him to keep them separate. I think he's very scared of Megan because he knows what she's capable of doing. Terrence is a really smart guy.
Right.
He's always 2 steps ahead, and he knows Megan's type, and he knows that she's not just gonna really, go along with their master plan in a way.
Right. What, in your opinion, IHM is this cultish religion, right? So what, it's not necessarily inherently problematic, but what makes it problematic is, the stuff that the stuff that goes down. Religion, many people, engage in religion every single day, don't necessarily have the kind of dramatic problems that you guys have. So my question is, what, in your opinion, makes a religion problematic?
When you can't leave a religion, I think that's a problem. And I think that's something that IHM has. It manipulates people, it makes them codependent, it holds something over them, and if they leave, there's going to be severe consequences to that. Right. And I don't think that's a healthy relationship, right? If you can't leave something, I think it becomes more of a cult than a religion.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, a self-help organization is really how it's pitched to people, but if you're not allowing people to make their own decisions or accept it or not, then I think that that's when the problem comes, and that's what happens with Meghan. You know, she's kind of forced into fixing herself and making her correct, and yeah, that's one of the main issues of our show, which makes it fun.
It's true. So hopefully you guys will have many more seasons ahead of you. Do you think that you guys will have a happy ending? Because it kind of seems like you have so many things working against you, especially like, you were, not you, but Meghan was institutionalized and, Kyle, she lost trust with Kyle. Like, do you think that there's a happy ending?
I think there's a question that Meghan asks repeatedly through the season. It's how can I love someone? And I think she's earnestly asking that question. How can I love someone who did what he did, who betrayed her trust?
Right.
And we'll find out if they're able to find love again within each other after so much damage has been done.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these are both very flawed individuals who I think seek a lot of solace in each other. And they identify with each other on a very deep level, and we'll see if that's enough.